One of the most popular digital assets and powers the Ethereum blockchain. Back in 2018, then SEC Corporation Finance Director Bill Hinman stated that he believed Ether was not a security. Last month, CFTC Chair Benham expressed his view that Ether is a commodity. The State Attorney General of New York asserted in a court filing last month that Ether is a security. Clearly, an asset cannot be both a commodity and a security. Do you agree?
Actually, all securities are commodity under the Commodity and Exchange Act. It's that we are excluded commodities. But I would agree that a security cannot be also an excluded commodity and an included commodity. I'm sorry, Chair, just to talk about the Commodity Exchange Act more precisely.
Okay, so do you recognize, how would you categorize Ether then?
Look, I think that the general sweep of what Congress did, not just in the 30s, but as amended.
I'm asking you, sitting in your chair now, to make an assessment under the laws as exist. Is Ether a commodity or a security?
Without speaking to anyone.
I know you've repeatedly said you're not going to speak to one, except you've spoken to one, Bitcoin. So I'm asking you to speak to a second one, the second largest market cap here.
And speaking to the tokens, there's 10 to 12,000. If there's a group of entrepreneurs in
I'm asking about one.
The public is anticipating a profit based on the...
I'm asking you a specific question, Chair Gensler. I said this in private. This should be no shock to you. I'm asking this question. Is Ether a commodity or a security?
And again, it depends on the facts and the law, and if there's a group of individuals...
I'm asking you about the facts and the law sitting in your seat and the judgment you are making.
And so, Mr. Chair, I think you would not want me to prejudge because I'm also...
But you have prejudged on this. You've taken 50 enforcement actions. We're finding out as we go, as you file suit, as people get Wells notices on what is a security in your view, in your agency's view. I'm asking you a very simple question about the second largest digital asset. What is your view?
And my view is if there's a group of individuals in the middle that the public is anticipating...
All right, so let me just ask a second question then. Do you think it serves the market for an object to be viewed by the commodities regulator as a commodity and the securities regulator to be viewed as a security? Do you think that provides safety and soundness for the product? Do you think it provides consumer protection? Do you think it serves the value of innovation? I think no should be a very simple answer for you here. I think that uncertainty is bad, is it not?
And I think that Congress has said that there's one agency, the Securities and Exchange Commission, under this committee.
And you won't answer my question, and you're the head of that agency. So give me a break. Come on.
I'm answering it in the generic because you would not want me to speak about any one set of facts and circumstance.
Okay, so, but you've already spoken. Have you said anything about Bitcoin?
My predecessors and the agency itself has spoken to them.
Okay, but you're not willing to do the same about Ether. Okay, so let me just step back. There's a lack of clarity here in the marketplace. Can you at least agree to that?
I think that the clarity is there. The law is clear.
All right.
There's a group
so
of individuals
let me be explicit about this. The market doesn't see it. Your regulatory actions and the CFTC's regulatory actions say that there's a great deal of uncertainty here. It is the intention of this committee to fix that uncertainty and actually provide a sound legal basis for this. So let me get into your rulemaking process. So
So Gary Gensler got exposed. As you guys seen in the previous clip, to which Gary Gensler was not able to answer the simplest question by Congress, which is Ethereum a commodity or a security? In fact, he stumbled on multiple occasions and didn't even give a clear answer. And not only did this show Congress that Gary Gensler is not a sufficient and talented enough SEC chairman. In fact, it showed them his disregard for the entire crypto industry, his false backing in terms of knowledge, his inexperience within the crypto market that he originally got hired for the purpose of having the experience that nobody else had. It showed them that he was not the right candidate and was not the right person to be in charge of the Securities and Exchange Commission of the United States of America. And so this perfectly aligns with not only the Ripple SEC lawsuit, but also the fact that now they're looking to get Gary Gensler fired because of his actions. Now, it's important to mention that this was one out of many clips where the Congress team just absolutely burned Mr. Gary Gensler, exposed him for his, conflict of interest, really, where he was getting paid out by these firms, giving money through them, and taking his role as SEC chairman as a way to abuse the system and use it to his own personal interest. And so now he's being called out, now he's being exposed for all of this, and he doesn't know what to do. And so the pressure's high on Mr. Gary Gensler, and the next couple of clips that you're going to see, you are going to also be shocked because some of these clips that were released almost were talking directly about Ripple. They didn't mention the Ripple name, but they were talking about Ripple because they gave all of the criteria to the SEC for Ripple lawsuit. And this is something that nobody has been talking about or reporting on, which is quite shocking. Even the XRP YouTubers are not showing you these clips, but you're going to be shocked by the time you guys see this. So make sure you watch this video until the end, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course, watch the video till the end. Let's roll the clip.
A lot today. So let's get started with digital assets. Under your leadership, the Securities and Exchange Commission has brought nearly 50 separate enforcement actions against digital asset firms. And now your agency is requesting an additional $78 million to expand your enforcement agenda. At the same time, you've refused to provide clarity on whether digital assets offered as part of an investment contract are subject to securities laws. And, more importantly, how these firms should comply with those laws. You're punishing digital asset firms for allegedly not adhering to the law when they don't know it will apply to them. It's nonsensical. The administration said it, the Fed has said it, and I'll say it again. Congress must provide clear rules of the road for the digital asset ecosystem because the regulators cannot agree. Regulation by enforcement is not sufficient nor sustainable. Your approach is driving innovation overseas and endangering American competitiveness. The ranking member and I have worked for more than a year on this issue, and we'll continue to work this Congress. But let me be clear. Our goal is to make law. We expect you to play a constructive role in that process. Now, next up, we'll discuss your overly aggressive and very expensive rulemaking agenda. In the past 2 years, the Commission has proposed 53 new rules at a breakneck pace. That's twice as many rules as your predecessor, Mary Jo White and Jay Clayton, in the same amount of time. This raises serious concerns that the rulemaking process is being rushed, undermining the quality of our securities laws, and risking negative unintended consequences. These concerns have been echoed by senior personnel at your own agency, and they are similar concerns raised while you were at the CFTC. Time and time again, you've cut the public out of the rulemaking process with unreasonably short comment periods, even for major rules like your disastrous climate disclosure proposal and equity market structure overhaul. You failed to justify these significant rules with thorough evidence, careful studies, and even cost-benefit analysis. I look forward to hearing why the Commission is rushing to make such dramatic changes in our public markets based on paltry economic analysis and limited public input. Finally, it appears you've been so busy weaponizing the Securities and Exchange Commission to push your agenda that you've forgotten a key pillar of the Commission's statutory mission, capital formation. Unlike you, this committee is working to strengthen public markets, help small businesses and entrepreneurs, and increase market access for all investors to ensure the long-term growth and prosperity of this country. I'll close with this. Chair Gensler, your responses to congressional inquiries have been unacceptable. You have a constitutional duty to conduct your business in your agency, but we too have a constitutional duty to conduct oversight of your agency. Under our jurisdiction, we intend to do that, and we will continue to do so aggressively. But it is your duty to respond and comply with congressional inquiries. If you continue to thwart this institution by ignoring our requests and providing incomplete responses, we will be left with no choice but to pursue all avenues to compel the information or documents we need and the American people need and deserve to see themselves. So with that, I yield back. The chair now recognizes...
Now let us review some of the points that were actually made that make it clear that he's talking about Ripple XRP when he's questioning the SEC chairman Gary Gensler. He starts off by talking about regulation by enforcement and the fact that this is incorrect and is driving innovation out of the United States. Well, let's start off with Ripple. Ripple has made it clear on multiple occasions that they are planning to leave the United States of America due to the poor regulation that it doesn't have. It doesn't even have regulation, nonetheless talking about poor regulation. It's been made clear by them that yes, we've done our job, we've talked to the SEC, they've directed us, we have these emails where it shows that we went to the SEC, and the SEC says everything is fine, and then all of a sudden one day we get this SEC lawsuit. Another really cool thing that I thought was kind of eye-catching was the fact that they actually mentioned Mary Jo White, the former chairman of the SEC, which actually now works at the Ripple team. And this is an absolutely big deal. And on multiple occasions, Mary Jo White has come out stating that the SEC is dead wrong on the Ripple case. Now imagine how big this is, where, a former SEC chairman comes out and says Ripple is in the right, and then you have all of a sudden the SEC go through and sue the company that was previously stated by the former chairman to be, you know, completely fine, and XRP to be a cryptocurrency and not a security. On top of all that, they mentioned the CFTC, and the CFTC once again also agrees with XRP being a commodity and not a security, and has sided with Ripple on the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. So you can understand the confusion. You can understand how, you know, a lot of this case that they were talking about in this, you know, this hearing where Congress was questioning Gary Gensler, they mentioned a lot of points that are exactly happening in this Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. And a lot of the companies that are a part of this Ripple versus SEC lawsuit, and a lot of organizations that are part of it as well. So it's quite important to understand the fact that this lawsuit here, personally, I think it was a lot of pressure by different cryptocurrencies, but mainly by Ripple, because Ripple has the funds to actually battle the SEC, and we're seeing them do that. Ripple has the teams and the connections. They have Mary Jo White, the former chairman of the SEC. They have another treasury of the United States. So they have real dedicated staff teams that are well within the United States government. So it only made sense that, you know, as the Ripple team grows and as they get closer to this lawsuit and they're able to find these, you know, issues that the SEC is doing and able to find these conflict of interest, they're going to bring them up to these government officials because they already have connections to them, and tell them, look, here's the SEC chairman, look at the ruling he just gave, how it's illegal, how it's not within his jurisdiction, and definitely Gary Gensler is going to be held accountable for it. I know this was a short audio for me video, but I thought I'd show you guys these two crazy clips because of how crucial they are and the impact that this actually has within regards to the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit, which overall is going to result in the price of XRP pumping. So again, keep that in mind. Hopefully I have another upcoming video for you soon. Make sure you smash the like button, you subscribe to the channel, and you comment your game name, as well as make sure you guys do follow me on Twitter at CryptoGeekNews, Instagram CryptoGeekYT, and make sure you guys get yourself a metal XRP coin with case on metalcrypto.com, where they give you the juiciest and nicest looking metal cryptos. You can even get the newer style XRP coin with case, whatever you decide. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.